In your meeting with the president, did he indicate that he'd made any headway in his lunch with Senators Leahy and Shelby about reaching an agreement on the top line for the omnibus?
So don't have any readout for you on the president's lunch, as you just mentioned. Just first for folks who may not be aware, the president had lunch today with Senators Leahy and Shelby of the Senate Appropriations Committee to toast their long careers, but also to your point, Phil, to discuss the funding bill. Look, the president believes that Congress needs to and has to reach a deal, a bipartisan deal. This is something that they were able to do just last year around this time in a bipartisan way. He believes that they should be able to do this again. This should not be about partisanship. We are talking about critical funding. When you think about public education, when you think about our national security, when you think about about health, these are important things that are critical to the American people. So he believes that the Congress should move forward in getting this done. But more broadly speaking, and I said this last week, when it comes to our efforts and the funding and how we're moving forward, we believe that process is in good hands with our OMB director, Shalonda Young. She knows how to get this done. She knows how to get a bipartisan deal, get that done, and also, we have our Office of Leg Affairs who is working on this as well. We've had, multiple conversations with members of Congress, and we're continuing to make calls. We continue to do briefings. But again, this is something that the president believes needs to get done. It was done last year in a bipartisan way. We should be able to do that this year.
Just one follow-up on that. Has he shown any openness to the idea of dropping the parity between defense spending and non-defense domestic spending, which is currently the Republican proposal?
So look, I'll say this. I'm not going to get ahead of any discussions that are currently happening right now. And so I know the Congress is moving forward, having those discussions. I'm certainly not going to be negotiating from here, from the podium.
Thanks, Corinne. To follow up a little bit on that, the week ahead after Wednesday, there were no public events for the president. Is that so he can take a more hands-on approach to the spending deal if necessary?
But just to lay out the president's engagement on the as we're discussing the government funding bill. Look, as you know, he had the Big Four here last week in leadership to talk about. They talked about this. You saw it in the readout. He met with President Leahy and Senators Leahy and Shelby to have the discussion about the Omnibus bill. And so the president is going to continue to have those conversations. He's going to continue to be involved. I don't have anything to preview at this time on what the rest of his schedule is going to look like.
And Democratic leaders in the House are discussing attaching Senator Manchin's permitting bill to the annual defense policy bill, which is a must-pass. Is the White House urging that too? And if so, how are you doing that?
So yes, the president believes we should pass the defensive authorization bill and that the permitting bill should be included in that legislation. So that is something that we support from here.
Thanks,
Corinne, just one more on the NDAA. Some members of Congress are talking about providing security assistance to Taiwan in the range of about $10 billion over 5 years. Does the White House have a position on that? And is there any concern that providing additional security assistance to Taiwan might act as an irritant in a relationship with China?
So, look, not going to get ahead of the process as it relates to in Congress or the NDAA. I'll say this more broadly. We continue to work with Congress on ways we can reinforce deterrence across the Taiwan Strait and build Taiwan's resilience in meaningful ways, including the self-defense capabilities. But again, I'm not going to get ahead of the process that we're currently seeing in Congress at this time.